This is Evening News for Tuesday, November 5, 2013. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Guyana Times TVG reporter resigns, fears Glenn Lal's retaliation. PPPC wants gag order on Guyana Times removed. Families of slain Kaicher News pressmen await answers from Glenn Lal. EPA and UNDP to partner on new mining proposal. And airport scanner serving its purpose. And now for the news in detail. Leanna Bradshaw, a reporter employed at Guyana Times and Television Guyana TVG Channel 28, resigned today, citing fear for her safety in light of a recent series of explosive investigative articles and stories the publication and the Evening News have been carrying about owner and publisher of the Kaicher News, Mohan Lal, also known as Glenn Lal. Here are the details from Michael Young.
Two other female reporters also resigned, apparently in sympathy for their colleagues' fear. The resignations were submitted today to management following an editorial meeting involving reporters and staff. On Sunday, the reporter had initially met with an editor and explained that she had serious fears and reservations reading a story about Lal on television, as she believes she could be identified and targeted, being one of the news anchors for the television station's newscast. Later that Sunday afternoon, when the reporter was told to read the story, she demurred and subsequently, without the knowledge and approval of the editor, proceeded to excise the story about Lal from the newscast for the Sunday Evening News. In an email, Ms. Bradshaw said, and I quote, "I am of the view that reading such articles put my life at risk, as persons can associate the content with me, contrary to the newspaper reports where no bylines are given or faces shown," unquote, in an email. So great was her fear of retaliation from Lal that Bradshaw told her editor that she was willing to voice the script once her face was not shown on the television. This was confirmed by one of her colleagues who quit in sympathy. Bradshaw's stance showed she had no substantive problem with the script, but reacted out of fear. That expression of fear was repeated at an editorial meeting and was further supported by one of the reporters who also quit. The management of Guyana Times Television Guyana said it regrets the decision taken by the reporters and wishes them well for the future. The general manager of the company said, "It is indeed a sad day when journalists have to operate in fear of certain personalities because they dare to investigate them and make public their findings." He also noted that journalists ought to be able to do their jobs without any fear of consequences at the hands of those whom they publish stories about. He said too that journalists ought to be able to do their jobs without any fear of consequences at the hands of those whom they publish stories about. He also took the opportunity to wish them well again and thank them for their services to the Guyana Times and Television Guyana. Daniel Singh added that even after her complaints, one of the editors of the media group met with Bradshaw and assured her of the company's support, as well as the support of other staff members who also feel threatened. The editor also held similar discussions with all three of the reporters minutes before they left the office following their resignations. Singh also reported that the management of Guyana Times and TVG is in the process of bolstering security for its staff in view of this recent development.
The families of the 6 Kaicher News pressmen who were brutally gunned down on August 8, 2006 are still waiting for answers, and they say none has been forthcoming from the owner and publisher of the newspaper, Glenn Lal, several years after the police still have not brought closure to the issue. More in this report. There has been widespread speculation that the slain pressmen were collateral damage for a deal gone sour, a deal that involved the export of certain substances. When pressed as to why they expect answers from Lal and not the police, one family member, now a widowed housewife, said everybody in Guyana knows the truth, even the police knows the truth. She said moving on since that fateful day has been tough, especially financially, adding that she lives in fear for her safety, thinking that she could also be a target for the same criminals who committed the act. At least 3 senior police sources declined to comment when asked by Guyana Times as to the status of any ongoing investigation. Another senior officer, who would only give a comment in person and not on the telephone, stated that over the years, one of the most intriguing developments coming out of the crime wave, which gripped the country between 2000 and 2006, was the connection between the criminals and many shady businessmen in Guyana. He said these people somehow always had advance information about certain incidents and were on the spot to give coverage before anyone else. The Kaiser News always appeared to have an inside line to Ghana's criminal underworld, but the linkage was made explicit after WikiLeaks released a number of cables from the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown. In one that went back to June 15, 2006, incidentally, less than 2 months before the slaying of the Kaiser News workers, the embassy's political officer Benjamin Canavan reported to the State Department about various Guyanese who passed on information to him the previous week. Specifically in reference to Lal, Canavan noted that Lal has a sketchy past. He translated a shoe trading business and rumored involved with alien smuggling into an independent newspaper. 7 years ago, the Kaiser News printery at Eccles East Bank, Demerara came under attack by gunmen believed to be connected to a series of murders and robberies during a crime wave that swept Guyana from the early 2000s. Chaitram Prasad of 76cc Eccles East Bank, Demerara, Eon Wegman, 47 of 51 4th Street, Alberton, Georgetown, Richard Stewart, 24 of 239 Lamaha Park, East La Penitence, Georgetown, Mark Maiku, 22 of 5 Yarudam, La Penitence, Georgetown, and Shazim Mohammed of 267 BB Eccles East Bank, Demerara were shot point blank and killed. Another worker, Wordsworth Gray of 31 Norton Street, Bacchusstown, East Bank, Demerara, was shot dead shortly before the killers stormed the printery. Senior pressman Ramchand Hariprasad and a security guard Julian de Grace were the only survivors of the bloodshed. The People's Progressive Party Civic says it would like to see the recent gag order placed on Guyana Times removed, as the party believes that the publication process is being undermined and freedom of the press is being trampled on. More from Vanu Manichan.
The People's Progressive Party Civic has pledged its continuous support towards freedom of expression by Guyanese, especially in the form of freedom of the press. This action came in light of a gag order that was placed on the Guyana Times by a High Court judge, restricting the newspaper from publishing details of the sale of Guyana Stores Limited, since the company is currently engaged in legal action before her in court. The party said in a statement that it has managed to break the state-run monopoly on several media outlets and allow them to operate freely without any form of censorship or interference by the government. The PPPC expressed its concerns over the unsolicited order by the judge, noting that the restriction is placed on matters that are not relevant to the case. The party further pointed out that information being published by the newspaper were extracted from the annual report of Guyana Stores Limited, which is a former state asset. As such, the public is entitled to such documents and information. Quote, "As a party which has fought so many battles and contributed so many advances in the pursuit of freedom of the press, we view this as a most retrograde step. We call upon all concerned to do that which is necessary to reverse it. We may not agree with many of what the press publishes, but we must respect their right to publish it once it is lawful for them to do so," end quote, the party stated.
The Ghana Revenue Authority says the new airport scanner has been serving its purpose and persons are now deterred from bringing in commercial goods in their suitcases. More in this story.
Commissioner General Khurshid Sattar told this newscast that the operation of the new scanner has so far proven to be effective and useful to the revenue body. Sattar, however, noted that systems will be put in place to satisfy travelers during the peak Christmas season, as they plan to reduce scanning during that period.
In view of the impending Christmas season, which you have a large amount of people coming to the country, we are concerned, I think we have already taken steps to do so, relaxing the rules a little bit, until I guess we can have the means, financial and foreign, to acquire some more of those scanners.
The GRA boss stated that the scanner has to some extent caused persons to stop bringing in commercial quantities of goods in their suitcases and hand luggage. While no one has been prosecuted, the GRA, he said, will be looking out for persons who would go to the extreme of bringing in unusual items in their luggage.
While we may have threatened such action, sometimes we tend to be a bit lenient with our travelers. They are subject to a lot of hassle when they travel, with having to be sorted in other countries, body sorts, all kind of sorts. And to put them through another ordeal like that, to prosecute them, we sometimes act a little more humanely than those other countries. with traveling these days, is quite a hassle.
In an effort to boost the drug fight and introduce a more effective declaration system at Guyana's main port of entry, GRA installed the scanners at the airport. Signs have been placed at strategic points in the airport, giving travelers a warning of the penalties they could face if they fail to declare commercial quantities of goods they might possess.
Despite political opposition to the Chetty Jagan International Airport expansion project, works commenced on the runway some 2 weeks ago, the airport said Monday evening. Details in this report.
According to the CJIA, the contractor China Harbor Engineering Company is tackling a trial section in the Tamari North area. When completed, the runway will be able to accommodate Boeing 747-400 aircraft. The entire $5.6 billion allocated to the transport sector program was slashed by the parliamentary opposition during the consideration of the 2030 national budget estimates, despite the pleas of the government about the benefits that a modern airport will bring to this country. Minister of Public Works and Transportation Robinson Ben told a news conference back in July that $20 million was earmarked for check and work is ongoing. However, the heavy earth moving and other works have not yet started. The $150 million project is funded by the government of China through the China Exim Bank. The upgrade and expansion project comprises of a new terminal building, 2 elevators, and CCTV and departure control systems. The project also involves the extension of the airport's main runway. The governments of Guyana and China inked the framework agreement on October 31, 2012 for a $130 million loan from the Chinese Exim Bank to fund construction of the project. Once completed, it would ensure that the CJIA is able to meet service projected traffic for several years and become a hub for regional and continental traffic with a state-of-the-art airport. For the Evening News, Anara Khan.
Market and street vendors continue to defy law enforcement agencies by selling a range of firecrackers in the open across the country. Around this time of the year, explosives, some of which are considered extremely dangerous, find their way into the country and onto the streets despite a police crackdown. Days prior to Diwali, which was observed on Sunday, firecrackers could have been heard and seen around villages, and a trip to Georgetown revealed several persons selling the prohibited explosives openly. Vendors were mostly seen selling flares and squibs, scratch bombs. Those items are not considered illegal, but it is the throwing of lit squibs that is considered illegal, along with the likes of illegal explosives such as Whistling Thunder, Crazy Robot, Thunder King, and Color Flower. Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. The Environment Protection Agency, EPA, and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, continue to work on developing a proposal to mainstream biodiversity conservation into the mining sector. Let's join Anara Khan for more details. This proposal comes at a time when mining is listed as the leading driver of deforestation in Guyana, accounting for 94% of all deforested areas for 2012. The current legislative measures and practices are being examined with the primary objective to incorporate biodiversity concerns ahead of the commencement of a second phase, which will see the materialization of pilot activities to reforest degraded areas. Mining activities continue to destroy the country's pristine forests. Guyana stands to lose US $20 million under the Norway-Guyana Conservation Agreement owing to a 0.025% increase in deforestation. This is according to the third National Deforestation Report, which was completed in October under the Monitoring, Reporting and Verification System for REDD+. The Norwegian government agreed to pay Guyana up to US $250 million over the 5-year period spanning 2010 to 2015 if it maintains a deforestation rate below 0.070%. The report indicates that Guyana lost an estimated 14,655 hectares of forest between January 2012 and December 2012, with a total deforestation rate of 0.079%, surpassing the threshold. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandun. Natural Resources and Environment Minister Robert Persaud on Friday warned a new batch of mines officers attached to the Ghana Geology and Mines Commission, GGMC, against fraudulent activities. Persaud, addressing the 26 newly trained officers at the Regency Suites Hotel, Hatfield Street, Georgetown, on Friday, said while the gold mining industry has a lot of opportunities, it is often tarnished by illegal activities such as the alleged shaking down on lawful mining operations and smuggling of gold. Nevertheless, he said the ministry, through the GMC, will continue to work closely with officers to ensure that they maintain a high level of professionalism. He said the temptations will be great, but officers must ensure that those illegal mining activities and criminal offences are rooted out of the sector. The Guyana Police Force today intensified investigations into an incident which saw 3 children being rushed to a hospital in Region 1 after they ate sweets which allegedly contained cocaine. More in this report. Police today confirmed that they had taken statements from the owner of a shop which allegedly sold sweets containing cocaine to 3 minors who were rushed to the Mabaruma Hospital over the weekend. The children reportedly bought sweets from a shop at Region 1 and suddenly started to behave strange. Upon examination by their parents, the sweets they consumed allegedly had white substance at the core, which was deemed to be cocaine. The police were called in and Crime Chief Silal Persaud explained that the substance has been sent to be tested to confirm whether it is cocaine indeed. He has also confirmed that the police have already taken statements from the persons whom the shop owners bought the sweets from initially. No one has been arrested up to news time, but the Evening News understands that the substance was found in several packs of sweets which were confiscated by the police. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. More of the Evening News after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Food for the Poor Ghana Incorporated has once again assisted another community in its development. Today, the FFTP opened the Swan Community Development Housing Project located on the Linden-Suzaik Highway. 65 houses were built along with a community center, and a water project was also established with the help of the Ghana Water Incorporated. The project cost a total of $80 million. Residents were encouraged to care for their materials given to them and use it to make a better life for them and for their children. Several activities are planned to observe Foster Care Month in Guyana. Here are the details.
A series of programs has been planned to raise awareness in foster care in Guyana as the country is observing Foster Care Month in November. It is being observed under the theme, Give the Gift of Love and Affection and Foster a Child Today. Several activities has been planned to encourage more persons to become involved in fostering children. Head of Child Care and Protection Agency Anne Green was quoted saying, being a foster parent is priceless as that person opens their heart and takes in a child to care for. CCPA has a foster care department which is tasked with recruiting foster parents and finding placements for children, along with monitoring. The agency's foster care manager, Colin Khan, said that there are a lot of children who are in need of foster care, and while there are people who provide this service, there is still a need for more homes to open up to these children. Khan further stated that foster care requires a special touch, and the agency has embarked on providing parental trainings. CCPA has come under fire of recent, being accused of taking away children from their homes. However, the agency counteracted, questioning what would be the fate of those children who are left abandoned if it does not intervene. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
The Commons Lodge Secondary School is celebrating 50 years of existence in grand style with a fundraising anniversary dinner under the theme Building Excellence and Proud Traditions built for the Ghana International Convention Center on November 9. Excitingly intertwined in the evening event will be a ceremony during which several persons will be honored for their contribution towards the development of the school over the years. Also expected to be a high point of the evening are golden moments at the learning institution by several generations of students. Past students are being encouraged to support this venture, which is seen as giving back to an institution that would have made a significant impact on their lives. Proceeds from the event will assist in the building of a tarmac for students to play basketball, volleyball and tennis. Tickets are available at the school, and persons can also contact headmistress Merlene Valentine on 222-5244, 222-5205, and tickets cost 6,000 per person. Join us after these messages for your evening news sportcast, sponsored by Maclean. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport in your headlines. West Indies and India clash in first of two tests from tonight. QC's Britain takes top honours in schools' tennis table championships. Anson McCall donates finances to boxers, and Ravens Basketball Club are new champions of the Brushes Classic. West Indies will square off against India in the first of test of the two-match series at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata from tonight at 23 hours 30 Eastern Caribbean Time this evening. Rajiv Bisnaut reports.
The Caribbean sides, a tour of India, will be their first international cricket series since July, when they played Pakistan in 5 one-day internationals and 2 T20 games. However, the Eden Garden Test match will be the West Indies' first in 8 months. Their last Test match was against Zimbabwe at home towards the end of March. Meanwhile, Captain Darren Sammy said on the eve of the first Test that his Chargers will enter the Test series with the same positive mindset which has helped them to win their last 6 Test matches. He stated further that playing India, particularly on their home soil, will be a huge challenge, but he felt his side is more than capable of competing.
To win the Test match, we have to take 20 wickets. You know, Sachin is one of the 10 batsmen we got to get out. If you look at the lineup, I guess you will have Dhoni, Dhawan, all these guys, Kohli, which are all good batsmen who've been scoring runs in one-day cricket. So we not only focusing on Sachin, we're focusing on the entire Indian team and what we have to go out and do as a test team to compete and win the match.
Coach Otis Gibson said he is hopeful that the team can extend their current line of 3 consecutive Test Series victories.
Obviously, we were busy getting ready for New Zealand. Then this tour came about. We went away to Miami, Florida last week for team building. A lot of our guys have been playing a lot of cricket around the world, different formats. Just finishing with the Champions League last month, so we've been playing cricket, albeit not red ball cricket. We had the opportunity to get some practice in Miami, and we're looking forward to the next couple of days here in Calcutta, getting back into the mode of red ball cricket and preparing for the first Test.
Further, India goes into the series against the West Indies, having just finished a high-scoring and closely contested ODI series against Australia at home. Sachin Tendulkar will play his 199th Test match for India, his penultimate Test match, while Shivnarine Chandrapal will be playing his 150th Test match for the West Indies.
QC Shamar Britton and St. Stanislaus Elishaba Johnson produced a memorable boys under-18 final when the Digicel-sponsored mini cadet and junior singles and team table tennis tournament concluded on Monday at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. Tristan Joseph has the details.
Final set of the match saw both racket wheelers countering each other before Johnson came back to tie the set at 12-12. However, Britain ended the contest with 2 powerful strikes to win the final set 14-12 and winning the match at 3-2. Mays Secondary School was named the best overall school in the tournament, while Britain received the Most Valuable Player trophy for his outstanding play and Johnson received the Most Improved Male award. Meanwhile, in the other single matches, Jamal Butts defeated Jeremy Singh 3-1 in the boys under-13 final, while Tyreek Saunders defeated Terence Roosh in the under-11 final 3-1 as well. Kyle Edgell defeated Sheldon Atherley in the under-15 final 3-0, while Tyreek Clark was the winner of the novices category with a 3-0 win over Jonathan Findlay. Events and sponsorship manager of Digicel, Gavin Hope, commended the players for their efforts at the presentation ceremony held after the tournament.
I was pleased to know that we have a sport discipline that is really bringing out the babies, bringing out the youngsters. I want to urge you guys to continue. We need more tournaments like this so that more players can be seen and can develop. Tonight's final, that was a competitive one.
President of the Guyana Table Tennis Association, Godfrey Monroe, noted that it was a competitive tournament that achieved all of its goals.
Anson McCall, under its Mackeson brand, on Tuesday made financial donations to 12 amateur boxers who have competed in the recently concluded Mackeson Fight Nights. Tristan Joseph joins us again.
After 3 weeks of amateur boxing that concluded on October 6th, Anson McCall rewarded the top fighters with monetary donations on Tuesday at the company's headquarters, East Coast Demerara. Mackeson's brand manager Jamal Douglas was pleased with the tournament and noted that the event will take place yearly.
Anson McCall and Mackeson are proud to be the first people to introduce the street boxing to Guyana. We're going to make it an annual competition, and we're hoping for more communities next year, and we're also hoping for more support from the boxers so they could come out, support, and we'll have a nice fight.
Douglas also noted that the quality of the fights at the inaugural event made him a fan of the sport.
It was great. I'm actually right now a big boxing fan. I'll be going to every single competition the guys are. I'm waiting for the champions. The champions said is in November, so you could catch me there.
The boxers that received prizes were Ron Smith, Eon Bancroft, Kevin Rodney, Trevon King, Marvin Ajide, Stefan Gavaya, Claremont Gibson, Anandram Baramraj, Bert Braffett, Kellon King, and Quincy Harvey.
Ravens Basketball Club outplayed the Kashif and Shanghai Kings on Sunday to become the new champions of the Brushes Classic in Linden. More from Tristan Joseph.
The Ravens Basketball Club walked away from the Mackenzie Sports Club hardcourt $100,000 richer after routing the Kings 51-37 in the final. Kanai, named both the most valuable player and defensive player of the game, pulled down 11 boards to help the Ravens out-rebound the Kings 41-21, while scoring a game-high 17 points, blocking 4 shots and picking up 4 steals to highlight his all-around effort. Ryan Stephanie also had 15 points in the win for the Ravens. The Kings never seemed to get their offense going as they struggled to score in the paint and was cold from beyond the arc. Oren Rose was the top scorer for the Kings with 12 points. The Ravens win in the 4th edition of the Brushes Classic ensures that Georgetown remains a top basketball association in the country, winning 3 of the 4 Brushes Classic.
Rafael Nadal made a win in return after 2 years as he beat David Ferrer in his opening match at the ATP World Tour Finals. The world number 1 began his bid for a first season-ending title with a 6-3, 6-2 victory over his fellow Spaniard in 1 hour and 14 minutes. Nadal will secure the year-end number 1 ranking with one more win the week, an incredible achievement having only returned from his 7-month injury break in February. Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be picked up from vendors across the country. When you are not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do remember to tune in to Radio Guyana Inc. on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Join us after these messages for your bridge reports. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demo Harbour Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, November 6, 2013 at 5 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, November 6 at 6 hours 45 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Tuesday, November 5, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Sugnandan. Thanks for joining us.